Let's do that shit.
Peace, love, and blessings. Shout out to my girl, Melanie King. Man. So, rumor has it, Elon Musk is planning on buying MSNBC. It will work. It will work. And through sources, that's like 95%. It will happen. But this is what my homegirl Melanie King has to say. Go to her channel and show her some love. Show the queen some love. Pick up your shoulder pads and your helmet. Let's go get to work.
Here's what happened with Joe and Mika. They were ordered to go to Mar-a-Lago by Comcast, the parent company out of Philadelphia. They just didn't show up. Okay? And Trump said, oh, this is great. Here they come, going to kiss my you-know-what, and we'll get photo ops, which they did. But Comcast said, you two, we're going to have to try to mend some cliche fences, and you two are going to go in there, and you're going to try to tamp it down. Because Comcast knew the next day they were going to announce that MSNBC is vapor. That is a huge media story.
Why is it vapor? Just because they're spinning it off and putting them in the... Well, they're spinning off a bunch of brands.
There's no spin-off.
There is. It's a spin-off company.
There's no spin-off. See, you buy the propaganda, Cuomo.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean about
I'm just saying
people?
What's being reported.
All right.
But what do you know?
Yeah, I know, but why would you believe what's being reported? You want the real story? Here
Yes,
it comes.
please.
So they're uncoupling their word, Comcast, MSNBC from NBC News. That means MSNBC has no resources at all. None. They're not going to be able to pay these people millions of dollars, Rachel Maddow, whatever she's making. NBC News is saying, we don't want you around. Why? Because NBC News' numbers, Lester Holt and the Today Show, are catastrophe because half the country equates NBC News with MSNBC and they won't watch. So NBC is desperately trying to save the mothership of information, and they have to throw MSNBC overboard. They're not putting anything into MSNBC. They want to sell it. So where's George Soros now? Georgie's buying radio stations. You can get MSNBC for nothing. They'll give it to you. They don't want any more of this. Why? Because it's hateful.
Elon Musk gets this. It's a wrap. It is a wrap. And I believe Elon Musk is going to get it. And any of my viewers, any of my subscribers that knows Elon Musk, please send him this. I would love to work for Elon Musk. Let me take care of your security team. Trust and believe. Let me take care of your fraud department. Trust and believe. Get at me, Elon Musk. Let's talk.
It's so far left. The whole NBC Comcast hierarchy is far left. But it's hateful. They hate Trump. They hate people who vote for Trump. Everybody knows that. And you know what's next? The View. ABC News is going to have to cut ties with The View. And you saw that today or yesterday when Sonny Hostin had to read a legal statement in the middle of a segment. The lawyers get Whoopi Goldberg's ear and it said, we're bringing a statement in on a teleprompter. She reads it. So it is over for these far left networks. Done, never coming back. Dracula's stake in the heart. Who benefits? News Nation may, but CNN, which is on the ropes too, will probably get some MSNBC viewers.
Bringing back true voice. Bringing back letting your opinions and your voice be heard instead of being censored. You see? We got to understand how things shift. We have to know in the middle of this shifting the things that will take place. I predicted that The View will be gone. It's about to be, all they ass is about to be out of a job. Trump ain't playing. Oh, Trump is a racist. No, he's not. Because he just hired a brother. He put the brother on the team.
Here you go.
So Bill had a lot to say there, and I agree with him 100%. And he has some insider information. I knew, and we all knew, they were forced to do that. They didn't do that out of the goodness of their heart. The head brass said, you need to go and make amends because we need to get on the good side of Donald Trump. We need to, we're bleeding out money. And just to show you what he said, some of you guys may not know this, and I meant to do this story before the election, but there were just so many things going on, especially with Kamala Harris and her whole disastrous campaign. But it's Soros-backed group wins Biden administration approval for takeover of 200 radio stations. Do you hear that? 200 radio stations that George Soros now controls. So we already know that the majority of mainstream media is run basically by the DNC. And now we have these radio stations that are going to be run by basically the DNC because George Soros is their huge backer. And he has that. And she's been descending into madness. Now, she has hated Elon Musk for a long time. Let me show you some of the propaganda that she has spewed about Elon.
Not care about Twitter or X or whatever Elon Musk calls it these days, but you should care that a man who parrots anti-Semites and transphobes is actively promoting people like Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Tucker Carlson. As one of the world's richest oligarchs, Elon Musk controls a major social media platform and has turned it into a giant megaphone for xenophobic, racist, misogynistic, and anti-Semitic trolls. He has reinstated noted Nazis, white supremacists, sex traffickers, and white supremacists, did I mention that already? Some of whom he has personally engaged with and amplified.
Now, outside of her deep hatred for free speech and Elon Musk, she is still on this, demented run about Trump. And now she is encouraging people to, make sure they're not around their family members for Thanksgiving and for the holidays. So not only is she having Trump derangement syndrome, but she's now trying to divide and separate families from even coming together at a time like this. And I've seen this from a lot of people on the left.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
It's stupid. Everybody want to sit up there and shame, come down hard, all because a person has different voting views. Y'all taking this shit way too seriously. But I want to dive a little bit deep. I want to tap into something. Why? Why are they going so hard? What's really going on behind closed doors that we don't know? Because for a large number of women, modern feminist women, to go so hard for men and go so hard for Trump, something's going on behind closed doors that
want nothing to do with any of their family members because of how they voted.
And if you're voting affirmatively, gleefully for this, people may not feel so confident in you anymore. That's real, and you kind of have to live with it. So if you think that you can vote for what people see as their destruction and then demand that they still are cool with you and kiki with you and have Thanksgiving with you, I think you're kind of missing the point of what people are upset about. They're afraid. And autocracy and fascism are things that are legitimate to be afraid of. So you may want to step back.
So along with Joy Reid, many of the talking heads are running to blue sky. And they think that it could be a competition to Twitter.
Does Blue Sky have a shot of succeeding?
Beautifully put.
It has a shot because without Elon's thumb on the scale, I'm getting the sense that I can actually maybe talk to people,
right?
Talk to my conservative friends, read the thoughts of people as opposed to reading.
And get realistic feedback.
Now, it's delusional at best to think it would be competition. In fact, I think it'd be great if Elon actually bought it, and that would really make them cry. But some are actually recognizing that it's going to create their own echo chamber, and amplify the problems that the media and that the Democrats have had, and that's why they have lost the election.
You know, there are some really good news kind of influencer types, and I think it's great that they're getting information about global and current events in front of younger people who maybe don't tune into traditional media. But to Sarah's point, there has to be some fact checking and actually verification of the things that are shared, because I spend a lot of time on Instagram Reels and I'm served up things that I get outraged about, and then I realize, oh, that's not even true, but I have the sense to go and look it up. But what I do worry about with this, like the Blue Sky versus X, because a lot of people I follow on X, Twitter, have now left to go to Blue Sky, I worry we're all going into our own echo chamber. So we had this, this election that was tense. Donald Trump won, and the right is going to stay on X, and then the left is all going to be on Blue Sky. How do we try to talk to each other?
So Bill O'Reilly also talked about The View. And recently I did a video where, they were talking about how they're fact checked and by ABC, and they don't really give out disinformation like it is on Twitter. They hate Twitter and Elon Musk as well, because it's not censored the way they like, the way the old Twitter was, where they can get away with all of their lies and propaganda.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country.
They're causing division among themselves. They're the very individuals, excuse me, that are causing division are certain individuals. Modern feminist women are causing division themselves. It's not a thing of everybody's doing it. No, everybody's not doing it. You have a large number of individuals, to be honest with you, that's not partaking in that. There's certain individuals that are taking part in that division, and that's the Democratic Party. The Democrats are, like I said, they're shaking in their boots. They scared. They're like roaches. When you cut on the light, roaches scatter, looking for hiding. That's the Democrats.
Filtrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. So when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one.
Yeah, but I think that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
we're checked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have the legal note here.
The human legal.
But we went from Walter Cronkite. Basically, to this guy Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons. He believes in dragons.
Did you triple check that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like dinosaur type of animals, roamed the earth when people did. So this is the type of really, really bad information that's going out there.
And they hate Joe Rogan, obviously, because he endorsed Trump, brought Trump on there, and they've hated him for a long time. All of the left have hated him, or the mainstream Democrats, because of when he supported Bernie, and they went through a whole campaign trying to say that Joe Rogan was racist. They said Bernie was racist. They're both misogynistic. A lot of people forget about this, but they did that to Joe Rogan and Bernie Sanders.
She said to me that when Bernie said Hillary wasn't qualified, they took that a little sexist, just like, how could the Secretary of State, 103 countries that she visited, two-time senator, First Lady, civil rights lawyer, not be qualified? You can say he's not right for the job, but
Joe Rogan, very popular podcaster. He endorsed Donald Trump in the final days of the election. 4 years ago, you went on his podcast. You got a lot of blowback for doing that and for touting that he endorsed you. So is this the kind of example of Democrats perhaps shunning or vilifying people who don't totally agree with them?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Look, you can have an argument with Rogan, agree with him, disagree with him, but what's the problem going on in those shows? It's hard for me to understand that. So I think we've got to get, and clearly you have an alternative media out there, a lot of podcasts that have millions and millions of viewers. Get on the show. Disagree with you here. I agree with you there. I don't see a problem in doing that. And you're right. I got vilified by some of the Democratic establishment because I went on Rogan's show. Now a lot of other people are doing just that.
She chose a route. She chose to take a route that later she shot herself in the foot. It backfired. But if you look at the route that Trump took, once again, even when Trump was in office, shit was smooth. I don't know what people are talking about when Trump was in office. We was in a messed up place. No, Trump didn't take no bullshit, and he still don't take no bullshit.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
I think he's talking about MSNBC. And then Joe Rogan put, if you buy MSNBC, I would like Rachel Maddow's job. I will wear the same outfit and glasses, and I will tell the same lies. So then Elon Musk replied, deal. So it looks like Elon is going to buy MSNBC. I don't know.
And he buys that, like I said, it's a wrap. And Joe Rogan's on there and bring his show on there. Oh my gosh. I'm definitely getting in touch with Joe Rogan. I'm definitely. We're gonna find some room and see if we can put the King's Table on there too. Let's go.
It would be a great way to get back at mainstream. But as we think about what would be the formula for that type of show, who would be good on there, one of the main people that I think that would be great is Scott Jennings. Even though he's with CNN, I think the format of having people on, having that kind of round table and people discussing these things, I think it's a great way for these type of opinion news channels to be done, and not this echo chamber of everyone agreeing with each other. Take a look at Scott Jennings dismantling all of these Democrats on CNN. And it's just, honestly, I think it's the highest probably rated thing that they do over there, because he just dunks on them in a way that nobody else can.
Many meeting requests, first from Joe Biden, now from Mika and Joe. It's amazing that literal Hitler is getting all these meeting requests. And what it tells me, Professor, is that all the rhetoric that came from the left, from the Democrats, from the White House, from Kamala Harris and everyone else before the election, all of the rhetoric, the fascism, the Hitler, the Nazi rally, it was all a bunch of BS. They didn't mean any of it. And if I were in the Democrat sort of rabble's shoes, I would be looking at all my leaders and going, did you just BS me for an entire 6 weeks before the election?
I just reread. To be fair to Brzezinski and Scarborough, they're not the only MSNBC hosts or the only, the word journalist is complicated, right, because they're more like personalities, but there are a number of journalists at places like the AP and other big news outlets that are concerned about retaliation in the coming months. Anything from IRS audits to lawsuits and things like that. There are media outlets bulking up on lawyers, thinking about having more libel insurance, those sorts of things. Now,
I just love watching people's facial micros. I love it. I love it to a T. Facial micros, body language, because it tells the story. You can tell when a person is triggered. You can tell when a person is like, okay, yeah, okay, you're about that. It's just so many directions, so many things you can depict when you pay attention to a person's facial micros. Let's go.
Now, I don't know exactly what the specific concern Joe and Mika had was or wasn't, but they're not the only MSNBC personalities worried about retaliation. However, they are the only ones to go down to Mar-a-Lago and have a meeting.
Yeah, Scott, you were shaking your head.
I mean, isn't it possible, too, that they're just two people who are so full of themselves, so full of self-aggrandizement, that they would feel like that they would be personally singled out?
Don't tell anyone, but some of their colleagues feel that way.
Well, first of all, I can see why. Second of all, if that's what happened, and if that's what they truly believed, why didn't they go on TV and say that?